So if you want to have a successful YouTube channel, video marketing, live stream, you have to stop being scared of the camera. Just think of the camera like a person, a human sitting there with you. Would you be like, oh, I forgot what I was gonna say, or let me look at my script again? No, if it was a person sitting right there with you, you'd be talking to it like a human. So think about the camera just like it's a human. Today, I'm gonna teach you how to stop being scared to be on camera. For real. When you start a new job, don't you always go in the first day and first you're kind of excited, but things are a little weird and you don't know how to do everything, but then the next day you come back and the next day and things start to get a little bit easier. And then a couple months down the line, you look back and say, wow, why did I make this so hard? Or man, I wish I would have had the training now versus back when I started, because it makes a lot more sense. The same thing comes with being on camera. The more you're on camera, the better you're going to be. So the more you do it, the more you edit, the more you show up and you get feedback from people, you're going to get better at what you're doing, because practice makes perfect. If you think about it, if someone is uploading to YouTube every day and editing their videos all the time, then they're going to get faster and better at it. So don't blame yourself for not being an amazing person on camera when you first get started. Okay, so I already said talk to the camera like it's a person. Really, it just comes down to looking at the camera. Sometimes I'll even put a sticky note like on my camera and say, look here, if I'm getting confused. And for me, I actually like to face my camera at me so I can see the screen, or I like to record on my laptop so I can see what I'm recording and it makes more sense to me. I know what I look like. So try it out. If you're recording the opposite way and you're not able to see yourself, then it may not be the right filming for you, or maybe you start out seeing yourself and later on you transition to not having to see yourself on film. Some people will also put up mirrors and record themselves in front of the mirror with their camera, be able to see their self while they're recording. So you just have to try out and see what works for you and makes you feel more comfortable. When you get started, different things will kind of start to ease your tension, and you really want to make sure that you're recording on days that you're actually in the mood to record. A lot of people will talk about naming the person that they're talking to on the camera. I haven't officially named mine yet, so I would either put up a sticky note by your camera or even get a person. I've even thought about getting like a cutout person, but just cut somebody out of a magazine, print them off online, and put maybe your favorite mentor or blogger, whoever it is, up in front of your camera, so that when you're recording, it looks like you're talking to them, and it'll probably feel more natural if you feel like you're talking to someone. And it really helps to know who your viewer is. So if you know who you're talking to, is it an entrepreneur? Is it a mom? Is it somebody that has kids, doesn't have kids? What's their favorite color? What time do they go to work? You have to learn who your viewer is so that you know who you're talking to. Or maybe it's just a random name, but name that person. That way, all the time when you're talking to the camera, you can say like, hey, Brandi. Or not even saying it, just thinking it in your head, like, okay, Brandi, so here's what's next, here's what's next. Keep that person in mind when you're talking to the camera, and you'll start to get more comfortable talking to them. And think about like if it was your best friend or your mom or your dad or whoever you're normally comfortable talking to, think about the camera just like that. It's somebody is gonna be watching this video at some point one day, and it might have 1 million views or it might have 10 views, you don't know. But don't you want to show up and be the best person that you can be on camera when you do show up? Just put yourself in those shoes and think, okay, if this person were in front of me, how would I be talking to them? How would I be interacting with them? You know, you may talk to your mom different than you talk to your grandma or a friend. So think about those things whenever you're recording, about who your audience is and who you're talking to. Let's go over one of the biggest misconceptions about making videos, especially if you're making videos on YouTube and to show up in search results. When people come across your video, they're not coming to find you. They're coming to find the answer to a question that they have or a solution to a problem that they're trying to solve. Then You show up, give them the answer, and introduce yourself. I'm a big believer in introducing yourself at the end of a video or maybe sometime throughout, even putting your logo up so it just shows who you are. But people aren't coming to YouTube to say, oh, who's that girl Brandi that can tell me how to stop being scared on camera? No, they probably search how to stop being scared on film or how to stop being scared on camera, and then I popped up. Don't think about what you look like. People are coming to YouTube to find an answer or a solution. They don't care what you look like. And if they do, they might not be the viewer for you. So let's be real. If you're not showing up, it just means that you're being selfish and not putting your knowledge out there for someone else to learn, right? Because that means that you really care more about yourself than you do about your viewer and showing up to make sure that they have the answers that they need for the questions that they keep asking. And how are you gonna know if your video is any good or even get better if you're not willing to put yourself out there and hear what people have to say? It may not all be negative, it may not always be positive either. It's going to be a mix of both, but the more feedback that you get, the better it helps you to grow and learn faster and to get the audience that's looking for your content, because they start to tell you what they like and what they don't like. And if you'll start catering to the ones that are watching you, those people will turn into your paying customers. Trust me. So for me, I find it easier to film sometimes if someone's holding the camera, but it's not necessarily like one person. I do better if I have probably like 5 or 6 people around me and I'm filming versus just one person. It makes it awkward. And if I actually film better by myself sometimes as well, which is why I mentioned if you get this clicker, I don't know why I always look the wrong way, but if you get this clicker, it makes your life so much easier and you can film by yourself. So my best videos are actually the ones that I don't script. There's 2 ways to film. So you can either just film, and if you mess up, then one thing I've learned to do is like clap. So you'll see the spikes when you go to edit your videos. And that's for people that normally will That's for people that will normally film continuously. For me, I've learned that pros film in sections. You'd film the intro, the outro, as well as each of the steps in different segments. So you'd film your first one, and they don't have to be in the same order. You can film your intro and your outro and then film 1, 2, 3 steps. It really just depends how you've set it up. Because remember, when people are shooting movies, they're not filming everything at once. They might get the back end of the movie filmed the first week and vice versa. You don't know. You have to film what you can when you're there. So another thing that I've found is always be creating, always be capturing content and keeping it. So I'll keep film or video or footage or just something that I talked about, and I may not use it right now, but I might use it in a couple weeks from now, or even I have stuff that I've used like years later. So if you mess up, don't be awkward. Just keep going and you're gonna start correcting yourself. If you were in front of somebody, you wouldn't be like, hold on, let me go get my script. You just fix your conversation, right? Like me, I just messed up and I fixed my conversation, because if you were in front of me, I would have to catch my thoughts or figure something out. And it's a lot easier to show up on film for somebody when they feel like you're natural and you're doing it with them, or that they're in your shoes, versus that you're this polished professional person. It doesn't always work out that way, because you have to remember they're starting out or they're looking for something and they want to get a human to give them the answer just like themselves. And a really big tip, seriously, you are probably 20 times more experienced in whatever topic you're talking about. Trust me. You overthink yourself. So you are gonna overthink yourself and say, oh, somebody else can do it better than me, or somebody else talks about this better, they look more natural. You don't know how long, 1, it took them to film that video, and 2, you don't know how long they've been doing it. So they might have been doing it for 10 years. They might have grown up in broadcasting. They might speak in front of people every day, so it's a lot more natural for them. Versus if it's someone who's just starting out, they may not have those same qualities. So Now you know how to stop being scared to be on camera. But don't you think when people show up and find you, they're gonna want to know more about you and who you are? Well, you might want to have your YouTube channel set up for success so people can actually figure those things out. Once people actually find you, don't you want them to stick around? I'm teaching you all of that in my YouTube Superstar Checklist. Make sure and check the link in the description below so you can download it, you can get your channel set up for success. I'm Brandi of blogginbrandi.com, where you can find tons of free resources to help you brand your business and not be scared to be on camera. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.